Let me tell you the story of the man who outgrew the earth. Joe was born in Chicago in 1978, a spring baby. His mother Ellen was a school teacher who loved gardening. His father Chris was an engineer who never missed Sunday pancakes. Joe was their only child. Big eyes, bigger hands. He cried so loud the hospital lights flickered. They joked he had lungs like a storm. By the time Joe was 5, he was already taller than most kids in his class. At first, it was funny. He played the tree in every school play. He was the goalpost in backyard football games. His dad bought him new shoes every 2 months. Size 3, then 4, then 7, then 11. One day in 2nd grade, his desk collapsed under him. The teacher laughed. The kids laughed. Joe did too. But that night, he asked his mom why he felt heavy, even when he wasn't carrying anything. She just hugged him and said, "Because you were made to carry things the world hasn't seen yet." At age 10, he stood 6'8". By 11, he had to duck through doorways. His best friend Sam was the first to notice Joe couldn't ride bikes anymore. "You're like a giraffe on roller skates," Sam said. They used to build model rockets together. Joe always wanted to go to space. "Maybe one day," Sam said, "we'll go together." Joe smiled, but he kept growing. At 13, the school cafeteria banned him from sitting on the chairs. Too many snapped under him. His mom built him one out of plywood, painted it red. He took it to school every day. Kids stopped laughing. They just stared. At 16, he was too tall to ride buses. His dad modified the back of their pickup truck, welded in a chair, and bolted down seat belts. They called it Joe's Chariot. It barely made it down the street, but Joe beamed the first time they drove it to school. At 18, he was almost 20 feet tall. Sam stopped calling. His classmates moved on. Joe didn't go to prom. He didn't fit in the gym, literally. By 22, Joe finished college. He studied astrophysics. He wanted to learn about the universe, secretly hoping to learn more about himself too. At 25, he was as tall as a radio tower. The government stepped in. They moved him to the desert, built him a shelter, gave him a nameplate the size of a billboard. Tall Man Joe. They said it like a title. He still said, "Thank you." Joe kept growing taller and taller. He became so tall that it became impossible to photograph him in one frame with regular people. The president tried to shake Joe's hand on live TV, but could only touch one finger. Tall Man Joe, that's what he was called. Joe stopped wearing clothes by then. No fabric could be made fast enough, no loom wide enough, no tailoring firm willing to take the job. At first, it embarrassed him. But eventually, he didn't feel naked, just uncovered. His mother wrote him letters every week. She told him about the hydrangeas in the garden. He wrote back, but the paper tore under his fingers. Instead, he wrote messages in the sand that would be later sent over to his mom via the army. One message ended with, "I miss being small enough to hold a cup of tea." She never replied to that one. She passed a few months later. Joe didn't attend the funeral. The tremors would have cracked the church. By 30, he was declared the 8th wonder of the world. Tourists came by the thousands. They brought binoculars. They sold t-shirts. A theme park built a lookout platform just to glimpse his knees. And sometimes, Joe liked it. The attention, the awe. But sometimes, he felt like a chimp in a cage. A spectacle, not a person. "You're like a god," one reporter said. Joe smiled and said nothing, because he knew the truth. Gods are worshipped. He was just observed. He met Julia at 31, a researcher assigned to monitor his vitals. She had a laugh like glass bells and freckles that danced in the sunlight. For a while, Joe felt human again. They kissed once. She stood on a platform. He leaned down like a collapsing tower. The cameras caught it. It went viral. Then she left. She couldn't handle the distance, emotional, physical, existential. Joe didn't blame her. He just looked up at the sky and said nothing. He stopped speaking altogether at 33. His voice caused damage. Windows shattered. Birds dropped mid-air. They installed microphones on drones. He whispered into them when he had to, but mostly he just stood, watching the horizon, waiting. He hadn't eaten in years. Some believed he'd evolved. Others thought he absorbed sunlight. One paper claimed he drank the ocean at night and ate whales raw. Joe found that funny. If only he still laughed. At 45, his knees scraped the troposphere. Pilots rerouted around him. His heartbeat affected ocean tides. His presence warped weather systems. He was no longer man. He was phenomena. And now, at 50, his head is 92 kilometers above sea level. 8 more kilometers and he'd leave the earth. No air, no pressure, no sound. Just cold. Just stars. They say he'll die the moment his lungs stop working. But Joe doesn't seem worried. If anything, he seems calm. Each night he watches the moon, not from below, but from beside. One night he whispered through the drone mic, "I always wanted to go to space. I just never thought I'd have to grow into it." Joe didn't become a god or a monster. He became a mirror of scale, of time, of loneliness, and now of silence. He has 57 days left, then he'll vanish, not with a bang, not with fear, but with peace. As if the earth had simply grown a single limb and let it go. And maybe, somewhere up there, he'll keep growing, past moons, past memory, until he's just a line in the sky that some child will one day look up at and ask, "What is that?" And someone will say, That's just Tall Man Joe."